Yeah.
Hey everybody,
I
welcome
don't know,
to
man.
episode
Caffeine doesn't seem that addictive.
72 of Read This Way.
72.
Sorry. Yeah, no, you were still talking about caffeine, and then my
Yeah.
brain was like listening to you, but also like it was already on the track of like doing the opening, so my brain just, I don't know,
Shut down.
scrolled to a halt.
Two things at once. Nuh-uh.
I was like, oh, we can do it, but we're going to have to slow output to about 20%.
It's like when you're in a car accident and your brain starts processing at a higher frame rate.
Yeah.
But the rest of your body can't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just stayed the same.
Yeah. Though if we unlocked 100% of our brain.
We are eating good. I didn't
it's
actually
pretty,
get...
Yeah.
We've got some news to talk about, but screw all that noise. I want to talk about Suzume, the movie that I watched on the weekend, and what was the thing that was the other thing? Was it Free Ren? I want to talk about Free Ren.
Yeah, we didn't want. We talked
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, we talked about Scott Pilgrim. That sounds good.
And so impressed. Yeah. And then there's the Mappa stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Really, I think you are more knowledgeable about. I skimmed it.
Yeah, look, I kind of skimmed it as well. It sounds pretty horrific.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound good.
I didn't want to delve too far into it because it's still a lot of he said kind of stuff, backwards and forwards. And I know the animators and the artists are coming out in droves now, so they're all breaking contract and they're all going, okay, this is the worst animating experience I've ever had. I'm bailing, and I don't care if I break my contract because I'm not coming back. And we're not talking about the new guys. We're not talking about the guys who've just jumped onto the series or just jumped on with Mappa. We're talking about veterans who've been working in the industry for 25 years. And they just said, nah, had enough of this. Never been treated like this in my entire career. And then you get all the newbies coming in going, you know, experiencing
this
something.
This is the standard, right?
Yeah, this is you know, one of the industry standard animation companies. Surely enough, you know, is this how this works? Am I truly just the most worthless person in existence? It's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Especially with a lot of, so there's been a lot, actually, I shouldn't say a lot. There's been a few pieces of suicide imagery that's running through as well.
Oh.
Which is, yeah, it's been like really that bad. Yeah.
All right.
And cool. I really hope it doesn't get to that. And I don't understand how it got to this point.
Probably overwork and abuse, probably would be my guess.
Yeah, I know, but it's, I know they're chasing a goal. So Mappa hit the scene and we're just like, we've got a goal. Let's try and get there ASAP. Let's try and do as much as we can and make as big an impact as we can as quickly as we can.
Well, hearing the turnaround time on the Jujutsu Kaisen movie,
that was
like the actual hell.
Mind. Like that really threw me off. I'm just like, what? And
we'll get into that.
Yeah.
How much news apart from that?
To be honest, that has been flooding, absolutely flooding the news recently. So there's been that weird little link I sent you
round
as well, about the One Piece voice actor.
That was no, he was a kabuki actor.
I was like a kabuki stage play. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
we'll talk about that as well, because that was weird.
Super weird.
A little bit of an old story too, but anyway.
Yeah.
It was like back in June, I think it was. I think is what the article said.
Yeah, it was. It was because it was just a. It was kind of an announcement, I think,
Yeah.
about what happened, what the outcome was.
Weirdly public, but also still kind of vague enough to. I don't know. It's a weird
yeah,
situation.
it was a weird situation. It's also a very personal situation. So to make something so public
Yeah.
out of such a personal thing is, yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah. And on
Besides
that
that,
note,
there hasn't been much else.
well, there's been a couple of announcements, and we'll talk about some really can't.
Go on.
I was gonna
Go on.
say a bad word. No, I just remembered the YouTube rule.
We're
Really
past 5
bad
minutes.
takes. Is it 5 minutes? I can't remember anymore. They
I
keep
don't
moving the
know.
goalpost.
I don't
Anyway.
read. I don't read that. I
Yeah.
just make the words out of my mouth. Now, one of probably the most exciting announcements and pieces of news that we've actually seen come through is the new trailer information for the Sylvanian family anime.
I'm sorry. The biggest news that we have actually is a word from our sponsors, us.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody who has backed the Kickstarter for Lady of the Swamp. We have hit our funding goal of $5,000. Pre-orders for the book are still available if you have missed out. And would oh my god, I can't speak. Pardon me. And if you would like to still get yourself a copy of the book when it comes out, you have 8 days remaining to do so. Be one of the first 100 people to get your hands on this little slasher flick that we're wanting to turn into a movie at some point. That'd be sweet, don't you think? I think
Some
that'd be
point.
sweet.
I'm gonna make it look real pretty beforehand, though.
And we've got our first stretch goal. Getting yourself some extra comics, more bang for your buck.
Right.
So these will go out to all backers. I don't remember. Where is it?
Where is it?
I don't remember what the
value was.
The value was. Yeah, thank you. My brain also couldn't remember words.
That's right. I was speaking for you as I can read your mind over long distances.
Oh no, we've already unlocked that one. And next one
was, yeah.
That's right. And next one. God, see, I'm so good at this. Our next goal is at 6K. So if we do raise another, was it like $900?
Yeah.
800 and something? 860 bucks. Everybody's getting
stretch
more
goal
stuff.
Is yeah, that's right. More stuff. You never know what you're gonna get.
Well, I don't actually know. Kieran hasn't told me.
No. He hasn't said anything about nude photos yet. So I'm assuming. Yeah. What?
Nobody told me about these either.
Not yet.
I'd be hustling the comic even harder if he told me about that.
I think if that was a stretch goal, I think we'd do pretty well.
So we've got a bunch of different selections for rewards, digital copies of the comic, physical copies, variant covers, retail bundles, little glow in the dark pin, digital bundle of a selection of our comics.
Nice. All nice. All fantastic.
Physical copies. Get your
copies.
Original page art, cover art. Get yourself drawn in. We still have 3 remaining of those if you want to get yourself drawn into a comic.
Yeah, don't make me put my face on 3 people.
Design your own cover. We've got that one left as well. And that's it. The rest are sold out. That one's a cool reward.
Hmm.
And that one is still available. Oh, and the other foil variant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a few of those left. Yeah, jump on. Check it out. It's going to be a fantastic ride. You lost him now.
Sorry, I've been. It's been a busy week. All right,
It has been a busy week.
Nikki.
I must admit that it has been a very busy week.
Maybe next week.
We're going to do watch party. Remember?
That's right. Oh, we even forgot to do our Gurren Lagann watch party on the weekend.
I know we've been a bit slack. What are you doing on Friday?
If you're lucky, you.
Oh, you're gonna drive me a few K on Friday.
Oh God.
Right, yeah.
Hey, Mom.
What do we got? Hey, Mom.
So there is some Gintama news of news.
I love this show. How much Gintama have you watched? He's probably the most memed anime character.
Yeah, honestly, I know more memes than actual content.
Yeah, it's got a rather complex like world structure.
I've never gotten around to watching it, and I know that it's going to be good, and I know that I'll love it. And I know that the more you know about Japan and anime tropes and whatnot, the more you get out of the series. So, I mean, putting it off is only a net positive.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It should technically be the last thing you watch.
Yeah. Has a really cool concept, and I will get around to it at some point, is my take on Gintama. Because it's
like a fine wine. It only gets better.
Sci-fi meets Edo Japan. Is that right? Like aliens.
It's if Edo Japan got invaded by aliens.
Yeah.
And
so it's like
they decided to live peacefully together.
It's like a period piece that
and
immediately goes to like futuristic.
Yeah, it's a really weird concept, but I love it. It mishmashes really, really well. No different to the way that like Dragon Ball mishmashes fantasy with sci-fi.
Sci-fi, yeah.
Ooh, which watch covers?
Which watch will be revealing new information regarding an upcoming stage Jump Festa? That'd be interesting. So, have we already got a anime announcement for Witch Watch?
I think we've had an anime announcement of Witch Watch, yeah.
Maybe it's more information then.
Not of Sakamoto, though.
It has to soon.
I don't know what's going on, man. That thing's been running for so long.
Oh, dude, it all makes sense now. Green Greens is about golf. We're getting a golf manga series.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know that.
Considering the new ice skating one's actually doing half decently.
It is?
Views wise.
Why isn't this loading?
It's doing okay. So on the app, it seems to, state that it's doing quite a few views each week. So it's not slouching about not getting any views. So that's not a terrible thing. So maybe they're leaning into some new sports stuff, which you've got things like Dogs Red and stuff like that. That's also a new series.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to checking that out at all yet.
Yeah, I don't know if I will, to be honest. I don't mind. I'd prefer sports anime as opposed to sports manga. I like watching sports anime. It's always good. It's got 14K views. So that's just behind Jiangxi.
Okay.
And considering which watch has got 21, okay, it's not that far behind.
Yeah. So these three are going to be the ones that are going to get color pages in Jump issue number 1 for 2024.
Why are we talking about 2024 already? We're only halfway through the year.
Logan, buddy. Did you blink again? I really enjoyed Mighty Ducks, so maybe I should give it a crack.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be Mighty Ducks though. Hey, it's that song that I've listened to like 1,000 times since reading the comic.
Do you remember the cartoon series, The Mighty Ducks?
No.
Really?
I wasn't that big a fan. I mean, it was okay.
No, but it was the Mighty Ducks cartoon series was like they were actual ducks that played ice hockey, and they were like anthropomorphized in like the. I think it was like the Looney Tunes. No, was it Looney
were they the
Tunes?
only ones? Were everybody else people?
No, I mean I vaguely remember this. Hang on.
Yeah, don't go down that rabbit hole, man. We're looking at covers. We're in the news department. Come on. To reel you in.
I know. But I need to share. Oh, it was a Disney series.
Oh my god, you're like a Marlin. I can't.
That was really
my line's gonna break.
So this here is the first look at volume 16 of Chainsaw Man.
Nice.
I like it.
Yeah. Can we see it?
Is it not? Oh
no.
Sorry, I thought we were.
No, you minimized it because you were looking at all the Mighty Duck stuff, and now we're back again. Yeah.
Yes, there was a Mighty Duck series.
I didn't mean to actually continue.
No, but Trossi wants to know. I need to share. See, look at this. Look at this weird glimpse into the past.
Oh my god, the 90s. It's the 90s. 97. There you go. Wow, why are they so old?
I remember very, very little.
Is it like a superhero series? What's going? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What? So it had nothing to do with the actual ice hockey?
There were figurines, man. I had action figures of these.
So weird. I don't know anything about this. And I'll be honest, I don't want to know anything about it. Anytime that they put a jawline on a bill like that, I question. I really question.
What are you? Sorry, I really needed to share that with you guys. I don't remember where that lived in my subconscious, but
yeah. It was clearly living there.
Yeah.
And it was filed under the tab ice hockey. So now that every time you think of ice hockey, it's going to be there. Even though the show has nothing to do with ice hockey.
I know. It's so weird. No, actually, because all of their attacks were ice hockey themed.
Oh, of course. Of course.
So, like, they'd have a gun that shot, like, ice pucks or something. I don't know. It was a weird fever dream. It was,
Sounds like it. Speaking of weird fever dreams, what's going on here?
Kikon Surute Ita Yone will be ending next week on the Shonen Jump Plus app. I don't know if we have that one. It does not look familiar.
Looks pretty interesting.
Even if you slip my mouth, 80. Is also ending, so it's got 2 more chapters left.
We did know that was
We
Kind of,
did know that was coming, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was a natural conclusion, right? That wasn't
Yes.
that wasn't a cancel. Good.
Um,
We need more of those.
dude, the amount of growth in that series is incredible.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So I briefly saw this before. So Yoshihiro Togashi will be revealing a dropped ending for Hunter x Hunter on TV Asahi Iwakuru and Yoshizumi show yesterday, actually. So hopefully there should be some more information coming out soon. But essentially, he's going to be talking about some of the endings he's come up with for the series.
Oh, that's dark.
And
if he passes away before finishing the series, that'd be its ending.
Yeah.
And apologizes in advance. Oh, don't apologize for your death like that, man. That is just rough. Man, I know he hasn't been doing well, but
my Internet Explorer, there it goes, did I just call it Internet Explorer? My Chrome is freaking out really weird. I know it does. My browser, there we go.
Chrome!
So according to unconfirmed leaks, Togashi will reveal to the guests he has 3 planned ending scenarios with different levels of satisfaction that depend on his health. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So then he will reveal the 4th.
It'll be like, oh, I'm at this age and I've rapidly declined in health. Open envelope 2 and release its contents to the world.
Yep.
Wow.
That's where we're at.
I mean, planning ahead, man. Hats off. He's clearly seen the repercussions of what happens after, the events of Berserk.
Yeah.
And the worry people have been having for Oda. He's just preparing in advance.
Did we talk about that last week?
We did.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm really I'm impatiently waiting for next week's chapter.
Not going to let him have a week off?
Well, he just has. Okay. And that's the big reason why I want to see how the chapter looks to reflect how his health is, essentially. I'm like,
back on form, or is it
are you okay?
You get in 2 weeks and it's still the same content. Yeah. I'm sure it was just
as much as I
shit going on.
Would, yeah, and like as much as I would like more chapters, I would be completely okay if he just took the rest of the year off. If that's what he needs, but he is a workaholic.
The world would just stop though. If he announced tomorrow that he was having 6 months off, I feel like there would be buildings on fire.
The world like almost screeched to a halt when he took the 4 weeks off.
For some of us, I didn't even notice.
It was funny. I subscribed to a couple of different like weekly One Piece channels, and watching them having to come up with like 4 weeks of content with no new content to talk about was really funny.
Yes,
and a lot of them
plan ahead.
A lot of them did really well. The most recent break week was really funny. Someone was like, "So how much would the story change if Sanji was gay?" It's just like weird thought experiment, but all right, I'll buy it.
He would still be a pretty happy guy and still have blood noses.
He'd be so much. He would be so much more useless.
Would he?
Sentence make sense? Well, yeah, because like there are many more male figures, so like he would be refusing to fight men instead of refusing to fight women, and that basically like takes away nearly like 80% of his fights. So
Does that mean he would only fight women?
Yeah.
How progressive.
Equality, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway,
I don't
back on
think
topic.
Luffy understands that.
So yeah, it got a bit dark. So I want to know a little bit more about the Hunter x Hunter situation, but yeah, it's a bit concerning that this
It
is
is,
where
but
we're at.
I'm also happy that he's still thinking about it.
Yeah.
All the possibilities.
We've got a new cover for Undead Unluck.
Which is a Chinese Kung Fu arc.
Yeah, the martial arts tournament.
Mm.
Look at this. Such
Does
a
look pretty cool.
gorgeous cover. That's a nice cover.
It's very reminiscent of old school Kung Fu comics.
Oh, actually,
Fist and Blood Sword.
I'll briefly talk on it now because we're talking about Undead Unluck and we never really talk about it.
Yeah.
They've just kicked off a new arc, which I'm gonna dub the Food Wars arc.
Has it got Food Wars moments in it?
It doesn't have any like horniness yet. But
it's got nothing to do with Food Wars then.
They're gonna have a ramen cook off. That's the
okay.
They're having a Shokugeki, man.
Yeah, right. What is?
Cypher Academy is having its first anniversary population.
Popularity poll.
Thank you.
No problem.
My brain just saw pop and was just like, dude, the population. I'm like, that's not. That's not the word you want.
Yeah, that's
like, thank you, brain, for doing that thing that you do where you finish my sandwiches instead of my sentences.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sandwich.
What
a weird word that is. Sandwich.
All right, Logan.
Sorry.
Blue Box TV anime announcement. More. We got like these bits.
Got some visuals.
That's key visuals. Thank
you. Yeah. Okay.
Oh God. Still a little bit sick.
You're doing okay. A little bit of coughing, but you know, he's doing okay. This looks nice. I don't know anything about Blue Box.
No, I don't either. So I'm actually keen to watch it.
Yeah, me too. I want to see what it's all about.
Oh, we got some covers. So these will be
cover.
These will be the final covers of the year, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, of course. We're leading into the last couple of weeks, aren't we?
Yeah.
Issue 51.
So we got Blue Box leading color page, Cypher Academy double page spread. That's gorgeous. Look at that.
That's something else.
I like the perspective on it.
Yeah, it kind of has a bit of a wraparound effect there. And I like dudes with the bags on their heads. I don't know why, I just do.
That almost looks like it. I mean, it's not, but it looks like it could be like a Tonka color.
Yeah, a wraparound tongue cover. It does look like one.
Blue Flame.
We don't get that.
Yeah, what is that? It looks cool. I want to get that.
The art looks kind of nice, actually.
New Age Exorcist has got a color page.
Why not? Why is there a shadow there? That's not a New Age thing. Statistics.
Yeah, you don't like numbers.
Nah, not really.
It's more key visual. We do have some PVs for Nura Rise of the Yokai Clan. which is wrapped up now, hasn't it?
I actually don't know. I don't remember any announcements about wrapping up.
I thought it wrapped up a while ago. Can't remember. Another PV for Mission Yuzakura Family and Haikyuu. We got a cover for Witch Watch. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Cool.
I'm so far behind. It's not funny.
The pop art design on this is really nice.
Yeah.
It's almost borderline 3D because of the clean sort of lines of it, of the shadows and stuff. It looks like it's done in 3D.
Vibration Man's wrapping up with chapter 28 in Shonen Jump Plus.
Did you ever try reading that?
I didn't. I know Jack watches it, reads it.
I gave it a go.
Is it any good?
I couldn't tune in with it.
Not your flavor?
No. It wasn't weird enough for me. Or maybe the wrong kind of weird. What?
This.
Oh.
Imagine you're a new crew that makes it to the Grand Line only to see an Emperor's Mark on the biggest thing you've ever seen. I don't know, man. Just like really subtle One Piece meme humor.
Is it the subtle though? It doesn't look very subtle to me.
I mean, it's kind of obscure. No one's talked about the Laboon in like over a decade.
Is this the? It's not the final cover though, is it? There'll be one.
I wouldn't expect it. I would expect it to finish on 6.
Okay.
Feels weird not having the series anymore.
Not having it sitting there, it just,
it wasn't like it didn't feel as good of an ending as Takopi's was. It was still good.
Takopi's was such a tight, full impact story. There was no fat; it was all trimmed off in that story. Whereas Ichinose was all about fleshing out.
Yeah, the characters.
Yeah.
Like saying underwhelming or what's the other term? Anticlimactic. Like those words feel way too strong.
Sounds detrimental to the story, but you probably would use words like subtle or not. It wasn't predictable, was it? Was it predictable? Like, I didn't keep up with it because it just kept running in circles, and I couldn't help it. I didn't. I lost interest.
You're like, I'm just gonna wait until you're done, and then I'll read you all.
Maybe I'll read the last 3 chapters.
I don't know. I was, I guess, expecting like a really big firework, and we just got like a nice firework show, but there was no like big finale sort of thing. It just kind of naturally came to an end, because it's essentially a slice of life story that always is just a slice, so you're not really going to get like
more of a slice minus the life.
I don't know. I'm still like, I still put it up there. I thought it was a fantastic.
It's not. I'm not saying it's a bad story or it's a bad run. I'm just saying that for me, it looped around just one too many times.
Yeah.
if he'd kept the chapter count down, I would have been way more focused on it. I feel like he was sort of expanding more than he needed to just because he had the room. It's like, it's like Jump comes to you and says, "Hey, we want to serialize a story for you," and you're like, "Yeah, no worries, I can do that, but I only work in short format stories." So
Shit.
this is, this is
I
his first
guess.
attempt at
Yeah.
doing a longer form story, which is still a short story compared to everything else. But for him, it's stretching his legs out and trying to expand it out. The only thing that for me that it sort of lost traction with was the tightness was lost. So he lost that impact and tension that was always in his previous work a bit more.
Yeah, and like it's not like it was devoid of it, but it definitely ebbed and flowed.
Yeah.
How many chapters did it end up having? 48.
70, 48.
Yeah, just shy
Only
of
ran,
50
so it's
bucks.
just run this year. So it's just running for this
Huh. Yeah, I guess it did.
year. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a short run.
It started November 13th, 2022.
There you go.
That's strange. It felt way longer than 48 chapters.
And this is what I meant. It kept like circling you around. So you sort of lost track of how long it was going for because it just kept sort of looping back around and just releasing little tidbits every time you looped back around, just enough to keep you wanting to read to the next loop and push forwards to find out more.
I actually would have liked if it had maybe another 12 chapters, maybe. I don't know.
You know what? It's going to make an absolutely awesome film.
Yeah.
It's got the perfect format for a film, and I think it would play out really well in that format.
Dude, that'd be so good. Or even
Not
like
not an anime series or a short anime series. No, I would like to see this in a tidy 2-hour film maximum.
all right. Yeah.
But that's my opinion, and nobody really cares about that.
Well, I was gonna say, a short series, like an 8 episode. That seems to be the current like Netflix format now for anime produced through there.
8 to 10 episodes or film, one of those two.
Yeah, but then you like made your decision. So I was like, all right.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it for news.
Yeah. It was pretty light on. You know what? This week we might actually be able to talk about some weeklies, eh?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, because did you actually end up watching Suzume?
No. No, I didn't.
No. Oh.
Dude, I've been so busy.
Yeah, it's fair.
I'm sorry.
I
do. I really want to watch it, but it's one of those movies I want to sit down and I want to watch. No distractions. I don't want to get up in the middle of it. I just want to sit down and watch it. And that's something that's actually quite difficult to do in my house. So
I'll keep it spoiler free. This is my light review. So if you want to check out Suzume, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just going to talk about the trailer essentially, and the general plot, and maybe some anime quality. Dude, it is gorgeous.
Of course it
there is a bit of 3D work in it, but it's not distracting, and it's used more for background, and like vehicles, like they usually do.
Yeah, just to cut corners, essentially.
Yeah. My general consensus: I really enjoyed the film. However, I don't necessarily think it's the tightest of plots, but I don't know whether or not that's a bit more of a cultural difference. Like there's something that I'm missing, or I'm just an idiot and I completely missed something. Like in the great scheme of things, I got it, but it felt, I don't know.
I'm just reading the plot now, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, it's very,
That's
very
not what I was
anime.
expecting.
No, not
I've
at
seen
all.
trailers for this, and I've seen the visuals for this.
Do you
And
want to
now
read
I'm
what
reading the plot.
read it out loud?
The film follows 17-year-old high school girl Suzume Iwato and young stranger Soto Munakata, who team up to prevent a series of disasters across Japan by sealing doors from the Colossal.
Mm.
Now, I don't want to read any more than that because I feel like it's going to give a little bit too much. But
so it feels very like it feels very Japanese. It feels very like based on folklore, and it doesn't really give you a lot of meat of like lore dumps. It just, this is what's
assumes that
happening,
you
and it
know.
just yeah, and it doesn't necessarily take anything away from the movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. But I'm a lore whore, so I wanted a little bit more from it.
I'm gonna make you a t-shirt, man.
Yes.
Lore.
But yeah, no, it's fantastic watch. It goes for about 2 hours, so that's why I'm like, actually, yeah, a 2 hour Ichinose film would be fucking
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
And I mean,
It's a decent time.
it's a Shinkai film. It's
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous.
So it's written and
Um,
directed by Shinkai,
mm,
and it was influenced by the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami.
oh, that
Which
checks out.
is, yeah, because it's I imagine it's him going, well, what if we could stop this, or what was it that caused it in the first place, and what was it that causes all of these disasters? Is it, I guess he just looked at it from a fanciful, dreamlike perspective.
It came out last year. Oh,
Yeah, it's a little bit old.
I only got around to watching it when it dropped on Crunchyroll this
Yeah, they
weekend.
took their sweet time bringing it
Yeah.
to Crunchyroll.
Um. Uh, so I still think I like Your Name more, but this was definitely pretty cool. But it definitely feels very fantastical, like Your Name.
Okay.
I mean, yes. And yes.
That's the wrong law.
So yeah, I'd recommend Suzume. It's a good watch. I just wanted a little
Does
bit
it
more.
feel more like a big budget action movie versus a more
So
so
honestly,
your name was more of a indie director coming off the back of doing like dream projects and given money to do something that they felt would make a difference. And Suzume is the Suzume is like the follow-up where, he's been given all this money, he's
he's
been
proved
given the
himself already.
freedom, yeah, freedom to do whatever he wants. He's like, oh, what kind of crazy shit can I come up with?
Well, he
And
did
that's
Weathering with You, which I still haven't gotten around to watching actually. in between this and Your Name is Suzume.
Yeah, which was, it was a huge hit. Weathering You was still a big hit, but I think it was bigger in Japan than it was around the world, whereas Your Name was
Oh,
worldwide.
yeah, massive
Um,
success.
yeah.
Suzume does feel like it's a classic coming of age story, where 17-year-old runs away from home to find herself, but it's got that other adventure plot where she is going from place to place. So she accidentally removes a keystone that's meant to be keeping these disasters in place. It transforms into a cat. She then goes on like a Japan globe-trotting adventure trying to get this cat back so they can seal the disasters again. And the man Sato, who she meets on this island, he's actually the one that's going around and sealing all these doors to stop these calamities from happening. But then he gets cursed, so then it falls to the 17-year-old child to sort out Japan's problems from like the Heian period.
It sounds pretty wild.
Dude,
really
it's
does.
really good.
And
I had such a blast.
it kind of reminds me from like, so he hasn't not done stuff like this before. So if you look at The Place Promised in our early days and Children Who Chase Lost Voices, they're both very fantasy future, and stemmed in like world calamity kind of events as well. So it seems to be a bit of a running theme for him over the years.
There's a few that I actually haven't seen. Huh.
Wow.
Also, didn't realize that he had worked on video games as well, like in his back
Early
in the
days.
2000s.
Yeah, I was just looking up the studio that. So he's been with the same film studio like all his career. So Comics Wave Films has been producing
Oh,
his material since 2004. So all of his movies have been produced and released by them, which I
that's a good
guess is
reason.
why he's had so much flexibility and freedom to do whatever he wants in the films, which is great. It's what we want to see more of.
I wonder if they'll do a manga adaptation. They have of all of his other works.
Yeah, they probably will, and possibly make it longer and more in depth, which is good. We like that.
Um, who's
Speaking about
the
longer and more in depth,
what's the other big Japanese director?
I know who you're talking about. 1 second.
But Mamoru Hosoda, that's the one. For some reason, I always get.
I know you get them mixed up, right?
I love both of them, but
they
like,
essentially happened at the same time, and their films
yeah,
are so grand. But I always find that Hosoda seems to come more from the Ghibli house of animation direction, in the sense that
yeah.
his scope and ideals are much more formed, I guess.
But like, if I had to pick, I would probably go Hosoda. But I do really like Your Name, and 5 centimeters per second was pretty good too.
Yeah, look, he's a visionary. There's no doubt about that. But you're right. I am personally would put her soda down.
The Girl Who Leapt Through
as
Time. Oh my god.
Summer Wars, Belle, The Boy and the
I
Beast,
still
Wolf
haven't
Children,
watched Belle.
Mirai. You haven't watched Belle yet?
I forgot it.
So good.
I've got it on Blu-ray, but I haven't actually watched it yet.
Oh, what? He directed a One Piece animation too.
Oh, dude, it's the darkest one too.
One
I
Piece,
haven't.
Baron Matsuri and the Secret Island.
It looks like animation-wise, it looks very similar to The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
Oh, okay.
With a little bit, because it's in between Digimon and The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, and
so real loose kind of.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it looks so nice. It's my favorite artistic style shift in One Piece.
Yeah.
And it's because it's like my favorite director. It looks so gorgeous, man. We never got a dub for a lot of the early One Piece movies. So from like I reckon 2012 onwards. So like the last 10 years we've pretty much got a dub for all the movies that have been released then, but nothing for the early days, and it's just on the cusp. So I'd love it if they like remastered them and re-released them and gave them a dub. That'd be so I'd be a
Dude,
very
I
happy boy.
love how this guy has worked his ways through to the top. Oh, he worked with Satoshi Kon as well.
Yeah.
That says so much. Like in the way he produces his films and the way he envisions things, that makes a lot of sense. But to come from Digimon, doing 3 Digimon films,
Oh, that's right. It was 3.
He did 3 Digimon films, jumped to One Piece, and then from One Piece he did Summer Wars. Oh no, he did Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
Yeah.
And then he did Summer Wars.
And Summer Wars is just the plot for like Digimon movie that he did 10 years earlier.
I know, but it's still bloody good.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
But it's basically just a Digimon ripoff.
And then he went from Summer Wars to Wolf Children, which is
his
it's his opus really compared to everything else.
Oh.
No, you go back and you watch that. That is a fucking masterpiece of cinematic animation.
Mirai is pretty close to that. Like it. To me, Mirai was an amalgamation of The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and Wolf Children, and I felt it was a tighter version of Wolf Children.
Wolf Children was a lot more dramatic.
Yeah, it was. Mirai was more whimsical. Look at us arguing about movies.
It's harder to portray true emotion through drama than it is to do whimsical work. So I'm always going to put
anything about it.
I'm always going to put Wolf Children on top of that. I absolutely love The Boy and the Beast, even though a lot of people didn't.
Really? I thought it was like
it got a little bit slammed. There's a lot of people that didn't like it.
It was a fantastic film.
It was gorgeous.
I thought it could have been longer.
It felt very Ghibli though. Like it could have easily have been produced by Ghibli.
Because it was fairy bait. Is that why?
No, I think it was the beats and the characters in the story.
It's been nearly 10 years since that movie came out.
And this
I actually haven't watched it in ages either.
Dude, this is the problem we have with animation today. We've watched all this stuff over the years and we understand the standards that can be achieved. And then we watch something like Spellblades or something like that, and we're just like, what's what's happened? Even, you know, I would say 60% of what they release each season, I just shake my head at and go, what am I meant to watch this?
Boy and the Beast made bank.
Yeah, well, it did.
51 million worldwide and 5.8 billion yen.
Yeah,
In the
because it was
box
his
office.
film after Wolf Children. Wolf Children was his big, you know, award-winning film. So, you know, it made sense for it to make a fair bit of money.
I'm curious now, actually. How did the
Down the spiral we go.
Yay! Now you all can join. This is what happens. So yeah, long and short of it, go watch Suzume. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
It actually is probably the closest to a Ghibli film that
Isn't Ghibli.
Shinkai, that's his name. I got confused again. The Shinkai has released.
Yeah.
A little bit older. Like if Ghibli's like aimed at, it's more like your Princess Mononoke, like a darker Ghibli movie.
Yeah.
But not gory. Like
Early Ghibli.
Mononoke.
Not new Ghibli.
Yeah, not Ponyo. Oh,
Yeah.
I need to see.
Still a beautiful. Oh my god, the animation in Ponyo is so beautiful.
I felt so jaded after that film, man.
It made me cry. The work that's been poured into that thing
I
is just
honestly thought that
phenomenal.
she was gonna die. Like, just straight up thought it was
Probably,
gonna be a tragedy.
probably could have, but it didn't need it. That's the thing. It didn't need for that to happen to make the story a good story. Would have made it a great story. That's what would have tormented children for generations. Just like the never-ending story.
Yeah. Wow, actually, yeah, Wolf Children did what 55 million? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What about Bell? How did Bell do? 63.8. Studio Chizu. So he's been with Soda has been with the same studio as well.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I mean, it's proof that you, if
I
you
think
lock
that's
yourself
because
in,
I think
with
it's
the
his
format.
studio. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's his money, his studio. He can do what he wants.
The logo has the girl who leapt through time as a silhouette in the logo.
It's like he did a Spielberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Founded so everything after the girl who leapt through time. So Wolf Children, Boy and the Beast, Mirai, and Bell were all produced in house.
Nice. I like that.
Oh, he actually had a screenwriter on for Wolf Children.
Yeah, that's not him.
Ah.
As much as I love,
he's done everything else though.
I think Wolf Children was based on a book, wasn't it?
Don't know. Was it?
Damn it! You're gonna send me down the hole as well. First work written by second original first
Oh, he worked on Summer Wars as well.
written by. Oh wait.
All right. I'm reining myself in because Free Rent, dude. How awesome.
Sorry, he wrote the story, but he didn't write the screenplay by himself. He had someone else help him with the screenplay.
Oh, okay. So yeah. Right.
Yep.
How much of Free Rent have you watched?
4 eps.
Okay, cool. So we're about the same, I think.
Yeah, I kind of halted a little bit because I got distracted by something else.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Uh,
Scott Pilgrim and Sister Seven distracted me.
I can see that. I really enjoyed what I've watched of Free Run though. It's gorgeous.
It is it it like it blindsides me a lot. I'll be watching it and I'm like, this is like mellow, and then it will just have a moment where the animation and the
Yeah,
color quality and something just shoots through the roof. I'm just like, wait, what am I still watching the same thing? And then it flicks back. So any of the like close up face shots and stuff like that, the whole color palette just changes.
I love the
You know,
series
they've
so
got
much, man.
6 colors in their eyes. It's got, it's phenomenal. It's beautiful and it's subtle all at the same time.
It's beautifully somber, is how I would
Yeah.
describe the series. Like a lot of the, I just remembered what the exchange when we were talking about the series when we were watching it, and you were like, I think I was an episode ahead of you, and you sent me a message with pretty much my exact thoughts about Kieran, and you were like, "Oh, is she on the spectrum, right?" And I'm like, "I'm pretty yeah." I was like, "How dare you?"
what, what did I say? I said, "Is this anime just about an autistic kid just making friends?"
and outliving every one of them.
Yeah. So that's the thing that really fascinates me the most. It's taking the perspective of the character that lives for essentially what we would classify as forever.
Yeah,
Someone who does live for 500 years, which is what the elven kind, I guess, are designed to do, in
I
the
mean,
fantasy
they
world.
didn't. Yeah, it's not really specified in.
No, and it's really funny because they touch on that sort of stuff in Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, but they never
Yeah.
really delve too far into it. Another one that touches on it is that what's that really obscure series about ranking brothels in a fantasy world?
Oh. um. Oh, I know which the one that you could watch on Pornhub because it got
Yeah, it's that bad. It has moments like that, but
it got
it
taken
touched
off
on that whole
streaming
concept.
services.
Yeah, it
God, I
touched on
know
that
which
whole
one you're
concept of
talking
age.
about.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't
interspecies
I can't remember.
reviewers.
That's the one. That's the one. So that one touched on the fact that the elven character in the crew only preferred to see like older
Milfs, right?
women. Like
Yeah.
no, we're talking like women
A
in their
bit like grand.
70s and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Yeah, yeah. Because for him that was like the
the
more
equivalent of
mature
milfs.
age.
Yeah.
And meanwhile the rest of the cast are like, oh no, we want to go see the elves because they're beautiful and they look young, but they've got hundreds of years of experience. And he's like, ew, why would you want to go hang out with the children?
Yeah, it's so weird.
And it's that mentality that takes place because she's so disconnected from everything and everybody because of that major age and time difference.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
one of
Sorry, we
and
flicked
one
back
of
to
the
free
things
rent.
that sorry, I was referencing back to free rent.
I know, I forgot we were talking about interspecies reviewers, and I forgot we
And
were talking about free rent.
the line that really hooked me, that really got me set into the series was, I don't take on apprentices because they all die.
Yeah,
and I'm just
she
like,
just gets
oh shit, that
bamboozled into.
actually, that yeah, that she gets bamboozled into doing that,
Doing it
but
anyway.
but it just kind of
I
hits home a
felt
little bit.
I did feel that that was a little bit more geared towards conflict and war than it was the whole age differencing scenario. But I
You
do
see, it
understand what
could
you're
have been
talking about
either,
there.
and she doesn't actually
Yeah,
stipulate which one it is. It could be either.
yeah. I didn't
And
actually consider that side of it.
the fact that she actually outlived her teacher is,
Mm.
is another factor as well. So, and she's lived so long past her teacher that her teacher has become a legendary figure in history.
I don't remember that. Maybe I didn't watch. Maybe you've watched an extra episode that I have.
Did you watch the episode about the giant tree that they had to find in the forest? Maybe you're
No,
like episode 3.
maybe I didn't.
Yeah. There's an episode where they have to go and track down a book that references like talking to past lives and stuff like that.
No, I don't think I had.
And it's a book written by her master who
Okay.
taught her all her skills and abilities and stuff like that. But the thing is everybody knows this master that taught her has been some legendary magician that lived 300 years ago, you know,
Okay.
and
Like the
nobody
equivalent
has.
of like a Merlin sort of figure.
Yeah, exactly right. Except she's like, oh, I remember that person. She was a tool. uh,
What a flog.
yeah. So it's just one of those factors that comes into play. Like now I'm starting to understand why this character is so jaded at the concept of connecting with people
Mm.
and connecting with feelings and ideas because everything fades so quickly.
Yeah, the concept of
And
time is so heavily dilated.
yeah, and you see it so early on because she stops to help people. And it's not just, I'm going to stop and help you for a day. It's, I'm going to stop and help you for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
And the apprentice is like, oh, I guess we're hanging out here for a little bit.
Gotta find flour, damn it.
Yeah. And she literally spends like a year and a half there trying to
Yeah,
find this flower. And to her, that's a fleeting moment.
it's like a week.
Yeah.
And the apprentice
In
is like, "Can
perspective.
we move on now, please?
Yeah. We're never
I've
going to
only
find it.
got
Let's
so
go.
much time." Shit,
So
and then
that,
she's like, "Ah, shit, yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Just I don't know, one more month."
Yeah.
Which
Let's
is
just
like the
hang out here
equivalent of 5
a
more
couple of weeks.
minutes.
Yeah. Uh, and it's little stuff like that that really sort of nail it in and say, she has a completely different perspective on time, which makes the series really interesting.
Yeah.
Even though it's low key, it's mellow, nothing. I mean, there's a little bit of action in there, but nothing that's outrageous or crazy. It just,
But my god, is it gorgeous when it
it's
happens.
beautiful to watch. This is
That
the thing
the
is the
was
subtlety of it and the quietness and the day-to-day life kind of motions that are happening are portrayed so beautifully that you can't stop watching it.
yeah. It's very very easily consumable. It's just
Mm.
I don't know. I haven't experienced anything quite like it in quite a while.
Yeah, I was about to say recent stuff has not touched on this particular quality
Was
of
episode
anime.
3 the one where they fight the demon that they sealed away?
Can't remember whether that was 3 or 2.
Because that was so cool. I liked the way that they started off by showcasing the defense magic with the girl and then talking up the destruction piercing magic only to have a lore dump on the humans coming up with insane defensive magic that completely dwarfs the previous piercing magic, and the dynamic shift in the battle was just absolutely fantastic. I thought it was such a cool concept.
And it was a great idea
And
because
executed.
it also, you know, showed that dilation of time that, you know,
Yeah.
with 300 years, human society is of course going to advance and get better at things. And to take the magic that this super evil guy was using at the time, which was super
Took
effective.
his entire life, which is almost infinite, to come up with, only to have it, what was it, like, it would have been less than 100 years, because
Yeah,
it was like 80 years later, we'll say.
uh,
Is that the difference between
no, that
the
sounds about right because it was about 25 years after the death of the hero. So, yeah, say 80. Yeah, it sounds about right. So about 80 years
yeah.
between when they sealed this guy to when they released him, they had developed skills that were well beyond what he was capable of handling.
It was, the exchange was done so badass, and like
Hmm.
the amount of confidence and knowledge that Freerin has in her protege. When the protege was like, are you serious? You just told me what this guy's capable of, and now you, with defensive magic, the piercing dude that
Yeah, you
goes
just showed me how to
through.
do this magic like a month ago. We and now you're throwing me against a demon lord. What's going on here?
And then the demon lords are like, oh, oh man, that was so cool. I need to finish watching the series. I might binge it before
Yeah,
next week's up.
it's definitely
If
worth a watch, and it seems to be the peak of this season.
well, I
I
don't know,
think
man. What about Scott
out
Pilgrim?
yeah, outside of the other options. So
That
like
shit's
the big
animated
budget
as hell,
stuff.
bro.
So you want to talk Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah. Honestly, it blindsided me. I was excited for it, thinking it was an adaptation of the comic books. Oh, how wrong I was. And
Yeah.
holy shit, was I bamboozled in it at the end of episode 1. And then for the next 2 episodes, I'm like, no, this is definitely not the comic. What's going on here?
Yeah. So the first episode just feels like the very first issue of the comic or the very first 15 minutes of the movie. That I feel like that there's a point where it deviates, and I think he's done it a few times now that the source material has variations of. So the video
Okay.
game, the movie, the comic book, and the animated series are all different storylines in some
Right.
way.
Well, I thought, I mean,
I think the video game is closest to the comic.
yeah, and let's be honest, there's not much of a story there. It's a side scroller beat 'em up.
Yeah.
You can only have
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
much
But
story
let's face
in
it,
that.
it is a side scroller beat 'em up.
I know.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, though.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
no dialogue. There's no like actual growth. It's just the fight scenes essentially, and showcasing the settings.
yeah, yeah. So
Um,
it was. You're right. You started watching it. It's like this is great. This feels nostalgic. It feels right. They've taken a lot of time to make things.
they brought back the original cast
Yeah,
as
they brought back
voice
the original
actors.
cast. They brought back the original director as a producer.
and as a character.
They've got Simon Pegg and
Nick
Nick Frost
Frost.
in there. You know, they got Weird Al in one of the episodes as
Oh,
well.
did they?
Yeah.
It
I
must
can't
have missed
remember which.
that.
It was the. Oh, it was when they were on the movie set. It was one of the episodes in there. But the whole thing is just like
It's a fever
it's
dream.
so good.
It is the
So
most meta fever dream it is the most well-written series in such a tight 8-episode run that builds off the previous works while making itself so new and different from them.
So yeah,
but
look,
also
you're not wrong.
but also then changes the way that you experience the previous content. I'm sorry.
That's right. No, you're right. You're right.
Is that what you were going to say too?
I was going to say that it's like what we were talking about at the start of the show. It is best consumed after you've consumed all the other things.
So
This is not the thing you start
yes and
with.
no. I could say that
I wouldn't start with this.
I feel like it does a very good job to be a jumping on point for people. I would still recommend either reading the comic or watching the movie beforehand.
Just watch the movie beforehand. At least that will give you a guideline.
I don't know, man. I reckon going backwards would be interesting as well.
Yeah, because
they all explore the characters in different ways, right?
I know, but I like the concept that they were making the movie inside the series. That was like my favorite component of it.
Are they going to do a stage play now as well? Because that'd be super.
Yeah, they'll do that. they gotta do that.
Did you end up finishing it?
I haven't finished the final episode yet.
Okay, so there is actually a sequel bait at the end. Okay. So I'm kind of hoping out for that. That would be really cool.
Alternate universe again. That'd be nice.
A continuation of the current anime universe.
Yeah. I tell you what,
I don't want to spoil the finale for you, or for anyone else that hasn't watched it yet, because it only came out like on the week of Friday.
Yeah, we kind of consumed it pretty quick.
But good God, it is so beautifully animated. I feel like Knives Chow. This version of her and this version of Ramona are by far my favorites. I still need to read the comic. I haven't read it.
Have you seen the Knives Chow Ramona side story?
Oh.
There's a bit of action that happens there.
I mean, let's be honest. The entire cast of characters are quite like entangled. I was going to say incestuous, but that does give worse imagery, and it's not true. You know what I mean, though.
After watching what I've watched, I believe that Wallace Wells is my favorite character from the series.
Oh my God, Wallace is amazing.
He's just full stop the best character in the entire series.
Also, the jab at the actor of the movie being straight.
Yeah.
Is an actual jab at the live action actor that they got to voice Wallace, who is Kieran Culkin, who is very straight, who has got a wife and child.
But it's
so they have him making a jab at himself. Oh man, like I said, the series is so meta.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. You kind of need to consume a little bit of it before you get into this.
I get what you mean, but
I think it doesn't detract from the series, but it adds a lot more layer when you're watching it. Yeah.
I mean, you can't stream it anywhere as far as I'm aware. I think it's only on like Amazon, maybe. I could be wrong about that.
See, I was wondering who Brie Larson was, but it's Envy Adams.
Yeah, it's Captain Marvel, bro.
Yeah. I know. I was just putting those two things together. Yeah. I just couldn't remember.
Weirdly enough, when I was watching it, I was like, wait, wasn't Envy Ramona's ex? Didn't they share an ex? But I
They
forgot.
shared an ex.
No, it was the
They
exes were dating.
Yes, they
Because she
share an
dated the
ex
vegan.
via an ex. Yes,
Yeah.
the vegan
And for
powers
some
vegan.
reason in my brain, I completely forgot that Envy and the vegan were together. Forgot Todd. And I guess I just deleted Todd, like separated him from the Clash at Demon Head, and it was just Envy Adams. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I got really confused at when she came in and gate crashed the funeral. That was great.
yeah.
Um,
That was
yeah,
great. That was a great little sequence. I'm just like, oh, that is so Scott Pilgrim. Like the whole thing is just so erratic. But while you're
yeah.
watching it, you're
It
like, this makes complete sense.
it it was a really weird series too.
Mm,
Like it is not conventional in any way, shape, or form.
no.
And I would say that the only shortcoming, and this is me being nitpicky, was that some of the voice acting was a little bit, but that's what you get for hiring actors who aren't necessarily voice actors.
So now that you've said that, I am going to 100% agree with you. The amount of times I saw a lack of expression in the vocal working,
I mean, it's
like
not
the animation
overbearing,
would
and
be
you don't.
screaming
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
person would just be talking. So it just felt like it
Not
was a
yeah.
little bit off.
It's not the worst I've seen, and especially for like A-list celebrities coming in and doing voice work, it's definitely not the worst.
No.
It could have been better though.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was
I
still pretty good.
Yeah. I feel like that maybe the VA director is to blame here. Because in the end, they're
Yeah.
the one calling the cuts. And I feel like that and I know the problem is these are all big name actors now.
Yeah.
When they did the movie, they were
Oh,
kind of big name, but
dude, I actually saw an interview last night after like binging up to episode 7. I'm like, I can't. I gotta go to bed. But it was an interview between it was Michael Cera and Chris Evans being interviewed about um the original movie. Oh,
yeah.
bro, it was so adorable. They were all like the way they were like the way that they talk about working on the Scott Pilgrim movie. It sounds like it was one just an amazing set to be on.
Yeah.
And young Edgar Wright, like coming off the
What
back
do you mean
of
young? The dude's still like 10.
no, I know, but like this was over a decade ago, bro.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know.
like he would have been very like the way that they were talking about him, he was very approachable, which I'm sure it hasn't changed much, but like
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I don't know.
He's a lot older than I was expecting.
I think
He's
he's like
49.
near. I was about to say he's probably in his 50, almost in his 50s.
I thought he was a lot younger for some crazy reason.
Nah, well, I did think he was maybe like mid 40s. That's where I kind of assumed.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anyway.
yeah, and like Chris Evans was basically like, I would like leave and come back to do more filming, and there was like a massive case of FOMO. Um, just they were all like super tight. They've still got an email chain going. I was like, that is
Oh, I heard
like the
about the
cutest
email
shit.
chain. Like apparently they had sent an email to Michael Cera and he didn't respond to it until this series took off. So he was when they were about to start shooting for the series or start recording for it, he's like, "Oh yeah, guys, I'm coming on board." And this is like the email was sent like
Oh
15 years ago or some shit like that.
That's hilarious. I didn't hear about that part
It's
of
just,
it.
they just seem like such a really cool and when you go down the list of the actors that were involved, it looks like one of the
Huge now.
coolest lists that you could ever,
Oh,
rack together.
just if I had a
So
time machine that I could only view things through, which is a nod to the series. Watch it. Yeah, I would love to be a fly on the wall while that's being filmed, or just to see some behind the scenes footage would be amazing.
yeah.
Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors, and at the time, I didn't really know much about or care about like directors or anything like that. It was just a really cool movie.
Hmm.
Um,
Until
was
you
it
put the Cornetto trilogy together.
was it after Shaun of the Dead or before
It
Hot Fuzz
was
or after Hot
it
Fuzz,
was
but
after Hot
before
Fuzz, but before
World's End?
the World's End. Yes. It was I'm pretty sure. Sorry, let me find out. Oh, I went to the wrong place. Oh, I've gotten lost now. Oh, I'm back at Hosoda now. I'm losing it, man. I've lost my search rhythm.
All right. Well,
You find it because I've lost it.
what do we? I don't know what you were looking for. I'm gonna talk. I'll bring you around to
Let's
the
talk about
weeklies.
let's do.
So at the end of the day, Scott Pilgrim, Frieren, and Suzume, all top shit.
Get to it. Get to it.
Um, weeklies, bro. Chainsaw Man, is amazing,
It's on fire again. I felt like he
and
was starting to feel
we're
a
back to
little bit stagnant.
bi-weekly release again.
Yes, after last week and the week before that, maybe the week before that as well. I feel like
I'm
we've
okay
had a
with
little
that.
bit of a yeah. Look, I'm fine with it. I feel like he's been. It's been clear that he's been a little bit more loosey goosey with his drawing work, and more focused on story, which is
Um,
good because I want to see more story happening because he's been doing so much setup over the past few months. It's been crazy. I want to see I want to see some fruition. Bring me the
yeah,
art.
this chapter, like as much as I'm enjoying it, it did feel a little like nothing happened.
Oh, nothing really did happen.
Yeah.
It's like this small sequence, but it's also an important sequence because it showed you Denji's level of love and desire and um, anticipation for maybe saving the world. But I have a feeling that we might see Denji go into the dark side at this rate.
I mean, maybe.
Well, if
I'm not
you've
sure.
got the whole world against you, trying to chase you down, I feel like this is a whole big setup to try and get Denji to head towards being on the demon side, on the devil side.
Yeah,
Uh,
but he was kind of against that when Naito kind of brought it up to him.
yeah, but he was hesitant. He was against it, but it took a couple of panels for him to say no. So there was a
Yeah.
sequence where he thought about it. It wasn't a straight up no. He stopped and thought about it before he said no. So
But the
that's
way that
always a clear
both of
indication of
them
hesitation.
the way that both of them have been set up, both being Asa and Denji, either one of them could potentially swing over to the devil's side. It like either or. I think that's or both. It could be
in the end,
like it could be devil versus devil, and the humans are just gonna have to put up with whichever devil comes out on top. Because, like Naito says, we're
gonna
squishy,
fire punch this,
easy.
isn't he? He's gonna fire punch this. It's gonna end up with Denji and Asa and what's her name all by
Actually,
themselves as a happy family, and he's gonna destroy the human
that's what
race.
I'm hoping.
It's just gonna be,
it leads directly into Fire Punch, narratively.
I just feel like it's going to have that sense of completion of this is the end, man. We're gonna just kill everyone. Everything's gonna start from the beginning again, and this is how it's starting.
Denji and Asa instead of Adam and Eve.
He's not gonna leave anything for the end of this one. I think this will be the end of Chainsaw Man. This series, this particular arc. He's looking to wrap up, and he's looking to wrap up Chainsaw Man as a whole.
I wish it weren't true, but I think you're right. But I'm in denial, so no. There's going to be a part.
I wish it is true. I don't like stuff that runs forever, especially a story that's meant to be as tight as Chainsaw Man. Like the first part was pretty tight. Things kept flowing relatively quickly. Things changed up quickly. There was a clear direction he was heading in, even though it seemed erratic and crazy at the time. You know, it came to a big sort of head, whereas this second part has been a lot more calculated and a lot more subtle in the way he's been producing the storyline. So I feel
you can see a lot of different moving parts from his previous works and one shots. As well.
That's
there's
right.
a lot of parallels between the one shot that he did with the girl that Naruto is based off of. Can't remember what the one shot's called now, but it's in one of the published collections. There's a lot of recycled ideas being used for part 2, especially that I've noticed in the last maybe it's pretty much whenever Naruto shows up, and there's like actual almost big brother interactions between her and Denji. Maybe like the last chapters, roughly.
Big brother / single dad kind of vibes is what you're getting when that happens. And anytime she's involved, he literally stops in his tracks, or he will forget anybody else is in the room, or he will, he's still locked in.
Yeah, massive. He hasn't got freedom.
He hasn't stopped being the dog that he ended up being in the end of the first part. He's still there, but only but on a subconscious level, not on like a surface level. So his dedication to her feels like he's more inclined to it than what it previously was.
They have a better relationship. Well, they have a relationship now, as opposed to it just being like a one-sided
master and slave.
Oh, it is literally called Naruto of the Prophecy.
Yeah, there you
go. His one shot that was published in Jump Square almost a decade ago, in 2015. I don't like saying gross. Why are we so close to 2025?
Dude, we're in the future. Flying cars, floating skateboards,
I've got an electric scooter. That's close enough, right?
Shoes that tie up themselves.
We have depression. We don't have that.
I don't even have a goddamn watch that I can do a video call on.
Yeah, no, neither actually.
Yeah. Right? They got all these smartwatches. I'm like, why do they not have cameras so I can make video calls? Like
Well,
Dick
they
Tracy.
used to. They removed features because I had one of the first Samsung watches and it had a goddamn spy camera in the goddamn band.
Is that why people were like, they're gonna spy on me? Don't buy a
Yeah,
watch, man. Just don't.
be like,
If you don't want to be spied on, just go and
oh,
live in
dude,
the
I felt
bush.
like such a little like cringy spy. Taking like really cheesy like
2 megapixel photos and shit like that.
I mean the photos weren't terrible. But they weren't
Yeah, they were.
amazing.
Yeah, they were. They were terrible.
They were better than you would think for the camera that was on your wrist.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's enough Chainsaw Man.
Dude, yeah, come on, man.
Let's go.
My
What
Hero
else you got for me?
Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen are both going off.
Well, yeah, they're both at the end of their run, so of course they're going off.
Specifically, My Hero is just, my God. Some of the art that we've been getting for it is just absolutely incredible. I don't. Oh, actually, the last chapter, like, I know it's gonna sound like spoilers for people, but it's like even if you're an anime only, it's a nothing burger. We got like, are you laughing at nothing burger? Yeah, that's a dead term now. Like, fuck, man, I don't know where that came from. It's like,
I love me a nothing burger.
So cringy. Anyway, we got actual background story on All for One. Like the whole chapter was just young All for One, so that was interesting. Some cool little.
That is interesting because they really laid out much about him?
Not at all. Past the fact that he's an egomaniac who saw his brother trying to connect with him through comic books, and he's like, yes, I see the role model here. Puts down comic book, supervillain.
Yeah, so hopefully we get to see that connection as to how he got there.
We kind of got a little bit of like the retelling of the first quirk holders, and the true the actual true story, not the because the original story that we got was one day there was a baby that was glowing, and that was the first quirk user.
Glowing baby, kill it. Exactly what would happen.
Bioluminescence in humans? This is weird.
Is it
Throw it in the fire.
Microplastic, right? Is that what's happening here?
And yeah, it turns out that All for One and One for All were twins of the actual first quirk holders, and they ever so slightly predate the glowing baby.
So how old is All for One meant to be?
Unclear, but at least 9 generations.
Yeah, how many powers does Deku have?
He's the ninth wielder.
Not 9 generations, 9 wielders.
Yeah.
So we've got to understand that there's still
somewhere between a max of 9 generations. But it's
so let's say
alluded
40
that
to
it's
45 years.
I would say older. I would say at least maybe 200.
What?
I would think that All for One is at least like in the ballpark of like hundreds of years old.
No. I'm going to say 60 max.
No, I reckon he's at least 100 plus.
But it's Anyway, I don't know. You know more about it than I do.
Well,
I'm just
it's never
saying,
stated, but
yeah,
there's like the whole like the quirk wars that happened,
yeah.
and then them returning to peace, and like there's a whole lot of like story and history that they haven't really gone into. And then there's
They're
even
about
like
to.
the events of like vigilantes and stuff that slots in
Yeah,
there as well. So
yeah.
like there's I reckon he's maybe because he's like that living legend where he's like he's he's definitely a lot older than he should be, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's got
Okay,
like regenerative quirks and everything. He's
yeah.
like pseudo immortal essentially.
I guess we'll find out
Yeah.
soon, by the sounds of
Yeah.
it.
I think so.
Yeah,
So yeah, he like stole um his mother's quirk, and her mother was homeless or something. It, it's kind of a graphic chapter, a couple bit unnerving as well. Like
yeah.
um some like here we go.
I'm hoping that there's going to be more expansion
It
on.
feels almost Akira level.
Yeah, he just
Like
loses track of his
it
powers.
was there's the vibes I was getting. Like, look at this. It's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely wow. It's kind of you're
big
right. It
turn shift.
it could be hundreds of years old. Okay.
I yeah. I'm not 100% sure like how far we're going into that, but it's like if also we're back to like 12 pages. So again, hope that Horikoshi's doing well.
Yes.
Um but yeah, we're also going to be learning a little bit more about the first wielder of well, first and second if you're counting
Yeah, the
the
twins
awful
factor.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the original wielder and then the first person he gives it to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that would be the first and second. I'm
Yeah.
not sure where they
Well,
count it
it's
from now, actually.
gee, who
About
cares?
it. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll work it out.
um wow, we've been talking for a long time.
Shh.
I just
We do
noticed that
that, man.
Kieran's on.
He's making fun of us.
Yeah, he's telling us to wrap it up.
Of
Uh
course.
Kagurabachi, Sakamoto Days, Undead Unluck, and
Fantastic
MMA.
action across the board. Oh, although
Oh
sorry,
my god.
MMA is kind of just like chatting, but it's good chat. Sakamoto and Kagurabachi are just beautiful.
They
Beautiful
haven't
work.
let off the gas with
No,
Kagurabachi.
they
Or
will
Mama
eventually,
Yu
but
actually.
yeah, Mama Yu's been off the wall. I've been really loving that.
I
MMA's been
actually
giving us some really
I need to
beautiful
catch up on
character
Jiangxi.
interactions. Jiangxi, I've actually got to catch up on. I think I'm one
I'm 2 weeks
behind.
behind.
Ooh, ooh. Beat Motion
Um
is going off.
I love it.
Ugh,
I
I
can't
love the
wait to see it
emotion.
animated.
Yeah, it's got to be animated and it's got to have songs, like good songs, good music to it. Otherwise, it'll fall flat on its face. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's going
I
to
need to
be
catch
good.
up on Samurai too. That's getting its anime shortly.
Yeah.
I think I know. We said that I was going to let you do weeklies a little bit more this week, but
We did a little. We did have
Freerin and Scott
yeah.
Pilgrim and Suzume. Oh,
I know there's so
dude.
much good stuff out there at the moment.
And my next, I will watch at least a couple episodes of Captain Laserhawk.
Yeah, you need to do that, man. It's so good.
I know, but then Scott Pilgrim came out, and I was like, "I'm sorry, Logan, I don't care." Scott Pilgrim
You can do
trounces
both.
Laserhawk. Yeah, no. You should really finish Scott Pilgrim as well. There
Yeah,
was
I
a
will tonight.
fucking
When
fantastic
we're done
final
here,
episode.
I'll definitely go watch that last episode.
um, oh man, so good. All right.
Okay.
Just really quickly before we do leave, again, pop over to check out the Kickstarter for Lady of the Swamp. You only have 8 days remaining to back the book and get yourself one spooky story delivered next year. Once we finish working on it, it's gonna be great.
It's
Do it.
gonna be polished. It's gonna be pretty. It's gonna look good.
Oh, man, I'm so excited to see more pages and part 3 of the script.
Yes.
And then I can. Oh, I'm actually really excited to sit down with Kieran and work out the lettering. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully I don't drive him insane.
But yeah, get on it and give us a back so we can send you some goodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been Brad.
I've been Logan.
This has been episode 72 of Read This Way. Make sure to check us out on all the socials and like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube, Facebook. Do all the
Thingies, the
YouTube
bells
shills.
and the whistles and the.
You can catch us here every 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Catch you next week. Mwah!
Bye.